Let's hit it. We're in my hometown, Las Vegas, making a left on Las Vegas Boulevard, the strip, basically. And this coming basically from my old neighborhood. This is how close I was. And this is Las Vegas Boulevard with the stratosphere there. That's what you start out with. You start out with the stratosphere, and it will continue on down, and we'll go through the whole strip. How's that? Taking a look. Oh, look, old showgirl shots. There's been a fine line between showgirls and strippers, and I was a classic Vegas showgirl, never a stripper. The Vegas showgirl. Big hats, 14 to 20 pounds. That's what I did. From 17 to 30 years old. This town, Reno, Atlantic City, 2.5 years. Acapulco, Mexico, Japan twice, in the Bahamas, Freeport, then Nassau, and back in Vegas. And then I ended up on the strip dealing high limit at the Venetian Palazzo, opening it in 1999. 1999, shortly after my son was born, and left when, let's say, 2013 is when I left and purchased my home in the Midwest. And this is probably like maybe my 5th time back in 13 years. I really don't desire coming back to my hometown. There's nothing in this that excites me. I've never been excited or anything by the city lights or glamour or glitz because, well, I lived it. I was born and raised literally right off this street, Sahara, down there where I was in my old neighborhood in the other video I took. And right here, Sahara Las Vegas Boulevard is just up the street from me. So right now they're advertising Horror Unleashed. And you can buy tickets, but kids are not recommended to go. So entertainment for the adults, obviously. A pink double deck. That looks like a new Hilton built where the old Frontier was. So they imploded all the hotels. That's the Sahara. But they imploded all the hotels a lot of the monuments that I worked in. And then right next to where the Encore is, next to that is where the Venetian Palazzo was built. And I opened it in 1999. Over there would be Red Rock Mountains, and then on the other side of the valley is where sunrise is. So sunrise in the east, sets in the west, and that's Red Rocks over there. That's Sahara Boulevard. And then here's the strip, and we'll just keep cruising. Lots of new buildings put up for me to see. Oh, there's a big Hard Rock Cafe guitar they're starting to build. So they're bringing it's either Hard Rock or something, but they're bringing it closer because it was just off the strip. The actual Hard Rock Cafe when I was younger. You had the strip and it was literally it was off Harmon, where the old Shark Club was, where you could go dancing and that type of thing. Vegas has changed a lot. It's nothing like when I was a kid. It's changed. Everything's really changed. Matter of fact, I came here on the 25th and I just got my vehicle fixed last night because of the heat being so hot at 116 degrees. I parked my vehicle at the resort I'm at outside on the tar at 116 degrees, and it completely depleted my battery in my vehicle. So I just got my battery replaced it last night, spent the day in the lobby, and basically rearranged my trip. Instead of staying a full 2 weeks here, I'm exiting probably like by Tuesday and taking my time across country and checking out some of the new, like not Midwest, but like the West, more of monuments and things that I really haven't stopped. I've just always just driven right through on the 40, hopped back on 44, and then made my way back. So that's probably what I'm gonna do. I'm so glad I don't live in this. I never really took the Strip. I would hop on where I was in my neighborhood, from one of the videos I showed of the 3 homes next to each other. From that area, I could go down the street, Rancho, right to Sahara, cross over, hop onto the I-15 and not get on the freeway actually, and then just get off on Spring Mountain, which is a loop that brings you down. We're going to come up to it right here. And it's a loop that literally brings you right down into the hotel area. And that was my trip every night. It was like less than 10 or 15 minutes to get from my house. So I never had to really actually ever drive on the Strip. We only did this when we were like kids. And we would like fuss with the people waiting for the bus, and we would yell out the window like, the bus has a flat tire. And everybody'd look around like, oh, should we get up and leave or what? With the bus stops. When they were used to just be little rickety little wooden benches or whatever. But now we have a whole scenario. We have the whole Vegas Strip. And everything's solidified with like blocks and things so you can't run over people on the sidewalks. They've got everything like that set up. The whole mall's here. There's the Encore. And then there's the Palazzo and the Venetian where I worked. That's where I worked and opened in 1999. Yeah, their building looks like a guitar. But they're wanting to turn this into some type of sports event, kind of arena atmosphere with this, I guess, you know, the speed racing out by Nellis. Now they're doing it around, I guess, right here in the Las Vegas Boulevard. I've not been here to see that. They lock it all up and shut down Las Vegas Boulevard and do the speed track in here. And there goes the guitar they're building. That's the Rio over there. There's the Palazzo and Venetian that I opened. And then next to it is the Wynn and then the Encore, which are the Wynn properties. And obviously they took down the casinos here. They imploded everything behind that wall. That used to be like the old, and they took down the old Riviera. That was a few years ago. It used to house Splash, which is the sister show that I did up in Reno, which was the last show that I did at the Hilton up in Reno, which was Bally's at one time too, that had Hello Hollywood Hello originally, and then they had Splash had come in. And there's the Venetian Palazzo. And the bridge that gets you across everywhere in Vegas. They've built these so the pedestrians are safer. And there's the Venetian Palazzo where I worked for 13 years and opened. And then it looks like we're building a guitar here, and there's the Treasure Island. And they do their little show out here with the pirates and all that at night. Here's all of the shops. And the gondola ride would be right inside there with the water. The Wax Museum. Treasure Island. And then whatever going on here, we're definitely building a guitar. That's definitely a guitar in Las Vegas. And that continues, and that's the Venetian, and it goes all the way over. That's how big our casino was. It was the Palazzo and the Venetian. So I opened the Venetian side, and the gondolas are right in there. But I opened the Venetian in 1999, did for 3 years, and then I moved over to the Palazzo, and I was in the Palazzo until 2013, and then I moved. I was in the high limit. And then here's the rest. Some of the old stuff, some of the old school stuff still here. These ones here, these are old school. Some of the old school ones. And then you have Caesars. The Link. Some of the old domes from the Caesars Palace. The original drive-through. But they've changed it up a lot. The Cosmopolitan. Over here we've got the Flamingo, which is an older building. I'm not sure if they're going to implode it or what they're doing with it. But I did hear that they took out possibly the Tropicana. So the Flamingo and then the Tropicana. I'll see when we get down there. Right here we're at Caesars Palace. and Las Vegas Boulevard. And up there is the Aria, which I think that's where my son stayed for the last 5 days for the convention, for the XRPL convention that they're doing. They invited him out and put them up at the Aria. And we got your regular tourist chilling, walking the heat, walking the beat of the Vegas heat. Good luck with that. And it's still crowded even though it's hot as heck out here. We're talking today's going to be up like a 120, they were saying. Like, it's a heat wave. Literally the time that I chose to come here and celebrate my birthday. It's 120 out here. But it's a pleasant drive. It's earlier in the day, so it's really not that crowded. So I wanted to get when the lights are on everything and a really good look at some of the old school. There's the old Flamingo Hilton old school sign. I did some modeling out at the neon sign. It's like the neon sign Vegas graveyard, and I did this 100th year modeling out there for the 100th year of the bra, and that looks like it's under construction as well. And there's the Paris, and they're advertising the Horseshoe. So that's the old Bally's that caught fire in like 1971, and all those top people, it was before fire codes. But that's the old Bally's that happened in. And I was a kid when that happened in the 70s. And it caught fire. It was drastic. And it changed the whole landscape of how they do fire codes for every hotel in Las Vegas, up and down the strip. It's literally how it's from that code. And I think it was like 1971, but you could check into the fire in Bally's that happened in Las Vegas and see what year that actually happened. Because I remember driving by it and seeing sheets hanging from the windows. And it gutted out the whole casino. It burnt the whole casino floor and everything. It went rapid. Anyways, this is the end of the strip pretty much. Okay, I'll catch the green and I'll finish off the video. This is Flamingo, and then the next stop would be Tropicana. So you have Las Vegas Boulevard, Flamingo, then Tropicana. And the casinos do go out further, but this is the main area of Vegas. Planet Hollywood, Aria, Paris, Bellagio, the fountains that go off at night with all the water to the music. And down there you have the Mandalay Bay. We'll see. I think they said they imploded it, but it's the old Tropicana. I think they're looking to build something different there. That looks like that's a new building. I don't know that one up there. And I don't see, but I will find the big wheel, and the sphere is somewhere. There's Harmon. This is the old street that we used to go down. Okay, that's the street they used to have that had the Shark nightclub. Anyways, down here we have the MGM, Park MGM, the New York. And this is just going the furthest down Las Vegas Boulevard. The Waldorf Astoria, and then all your knickknacks. I think the M&M store is down here somewhere on my left, which is kind of hooked up with the MGM. And back in the 90s, they tried turning it into like kids theme park, and that went over like a fart in church. And Vegas is definitely an adult's playground. It should not have kids wandering around. There's the M&M shop. It should not have kids wandering around at 2 in the morning in strollers with parents that are trying to see Vegas. Like, it's really a ridiculous scene, you guys. Like, all the years that I was dealing, like, there's the old Excalibur. They tried to, like, do this, like, kids thing, throughout Vegas for a while. And it didn't work. Oh, they did take down, look, it's gone. That's where the old Tropicana used to be. And now their building looks like a theme park. Have no idea what that is. I'm gonna look into it when I get home. So we're at the end of Las Vegas Boulevard, and they literally took it. It's gone. They imploded it. And then I worked at the Luxor, which is right there. I worked there as a dealer too before I landed my job at the Venetian Palazzo. I worked at the Luxor. I worked at Slots of Fun. I worked at the Imperial Palace. Just before I got in, I happened to be on lunch break when I saw the news for the, it was 19, I believe it was 19, just after my son, it was when the Caliban happened, Caliban thing. Anyways, I was working. That's the height. Oh, okay, that's the sports arena. And then the back end of it is the Luxor going into the Excalibur. So I worked at the Luxor. There's Mandalay Bay where the shooting happened and all that was never solved and still a mystery. And then it just pretty much, they took down the old Tropicana, and that's that. It is now going to become something else. I will look into it. What's that say? Serious Gamers, best deal on the strip, Tropicana. Look how the sign's gone. Like they took the... Okay, I'll end it with that. This is Vegas. Signing out.